This is going to be a quick start guide to using SureMembers on your website. SureMembers is a content restriction plugin for restricting access to content on your website. Setting it up is going to be very easy, and I'm going to show you how. First, we need to download SureMembers from the customer area. So just log into mysurecart.com where you purchased SureMembers, and you'll see an option here that says downloads. So I'll go ahead and click on this. And right here, we have the button to download SureMembers right here. So you're going to want to click on that. And we also have the license key right here that we're going to need to use to activate this on your website so that you'll get updates to SureMembers with feature enhancements as we release them. So go ahead and click on this download button, and you might want to copy the license code into your clipboard. Now we want to install it on our website. This is just like any other plugin. I'll go to plugins, I'll choose add new, then we'll click right here where it says upload plugin. Then right here, we'll click on choose file to choose the file we just downloaded. And then we'll click right here where it says install now. Great. Next, we just click right here where it says activate plugin, and you'll see a new menu item here that says SureMembers. Let's go ahead and click into that. And you'll notice here on the top right, it says unlicensed. This is what we're going to click on. And then right here, we're going to paste in the license code that we copied into our clipboard and click on activate license. After you do that, you'll have this green message saying your site was successfully activated. And if you need to deactivate the license on this site for any reason, you can click right here where it says deactivate license. I'll close this little pop-up, and you can see now on the top right, it says license. And I can pull that menu up again simply by clicking on that. And there's my option to deactivate the license should I need to. Now that we have SureMembers installed and activated on the website, actually using it to set up content restriction groups is very easy. And there's 3 simple steps. Step 1 is to create an access group. And I'll do that by clicking right here where it says add new. And then right here, I'll give this access group a name. I've named my group VIP Club, and we're already done with step 1. Step 2 is to choose what is to be protected by this access group, meaning you have to be a member of this group in order to access this content on this website. And that brings us to this area right here that says protected content. When we click on the dropdown, we're going to see groups of content on your website. So do you want to protect your entire website, meaning someone has to be inside of this access group to access anything on your website? You'd want to choose this option right here. If you wanted all posts, or do you want all of the posts on your website, or all of the categories or archives or tag archives? We have these options here. As I scroll down, there's more options. All the pages on the site. And sometimes you'll have a plugin on your website that will add some new type of content. For example, I happen to have Elementor installed on this website, and Elementor creates this type of content called landing pages. So it's offering me all landing pages and all templates. And then we have one last option here that says specific pages, posts, or taxonomies. This is where you will specifically choose individual pages or posts or categories for posts that you want. Now, this interface is very flexible. You can choose multiple types of content at the same time. So say I wanted to protect all posts. I could click on this, and then I can click on that arrow again and say I want to add all pages. I can click on that, and you'll see here it says all posts as well as all pages. And there's a little X off to the right. And essentially, if I change my mind and I no longer want to restrict all pages, I can click on that little X and remove it. Now, whenever you select one of these large groups, such as all posts, we reveal this option here that says exclude page, posts, or taxonomy. So what this is saying is if you wanted to protect all of your posts except 1 or 2, then this is where you would enter in that 1 or 2 that you didn't want restricted. So I can click right here and I can start typing out the name of a post. I know every every WordPress installation has a hello world post. And so as I start typing it, there it is. So the Rules that I have set up right now are you have to be in the VIP member club access group in order to access the content on all of my posts, excluding the Hello World post. Anyone can see the Hello World post, but every other post is going to be protected. And just like how we were able to add multiple types of content here, like pages and what other options are available on the site, you can do the same thing here. If I wanted to add another post, I can just go right here. I can start typing the name of another post. I think I have one called video. And there it is. The name of the post is actually video, and I can add that to it as well. So I can keep adding as many as I want. Now let me show you that other option on the bottom. So when I go and expand this list again, and I scroll to the bottom, it was specific pages or posts or taxonomies. And taxonomies is just a techie word to mean a tag or a category. So if you have a bunch of posts and you have them categorized and you only want to restrict a certain category, you would choose this option. So I'm going to choose that. And I then have the area to choose what's included and what's excluded. So this could be the specific category or the specific name of a post or a page. And we also have the exclusion option. Now, if you want to create a category that will be protected or choose a category to be protected and you want to see the list of those categories, if you go to posts, there's an option here that says categories and tags. When you click on categories, it's going to take you here. Now, on this site, I've created 4 categories and I've named them week 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when I'm here, I can choose to protect all of the blog posts inside of the category week 1. There it is, all from week 1. So now if I create a new blog post and I put it in the category week 1, it's going to be only accessible to members of the VIP club. Now we also have some advanced rules here for drip content. And what this means is you can unlock certain parts of your website to members of this group based upon a time period. So say I wanted to give everyone access to blog posts that have the category week 1, but I want to give them access in a week to blog posts in the category week 2, because that would be the second week that they'd be members of this membership group. I'll click right here where it says add drip content, and we're going to see very much the same what we've seen up here. So show this content. So in here, I'm going to choose the category week 2. There it is, week 2. And I want this available after 7 days. And we can even narrow in on this a little bit more. So say I wanted this to feel natural and I wanted this to be available after 7 days at 8 a.m., just like this, because I might want to queue up an email that goes out at the same time that says you now have access to week 2 of the program. And this is how you can time it. So it'll be specifically at a specific time. And you can add additional drip content rules. So I can go here and I can choose week 3. And so week 3's content is going to be after 14 days. And I'll also make this at 8 a.m. And the last one would be week 4's content. So let's type in week 4, and this will be after 21 days. And this will also go out at 11 a.m. This is how you add these drip content rules. And if you change your mind, you can click on the little trash icon here to delete that drip content schedule that you've created. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll up. And if you try to save the access group, you're going to get this message that says we need to configure this option right here called Unauthorized Access. And this is basically saying, what do you want to have happen if someone that's not logged into the site or someone that is not a member of this access group tries to land on any of the content that I've outlined in here? What do we want to have show or happen for them? So let's expand these. We have 2 options. You can redirect them to another page, or you could show them a message. When we choose the show a message, we can choose to show the excerpt of a blog post or page. You can enter a text message, and this will accept HTML if you want to style it yourself. And then we could display a button, and this is where the text would go and the URL to go. So you might want to have this be taking them to where they can log in or where they can purchase access. Now we're going to cover that later, how that's going to be step 3, how to actually get users in the group. But I have to choose something to continue on step 2, which is showing you all the options for what you can restrict. So I'm going to change this to redirect, which the only option to put in is where to a URL to redirect them to. I'm going to put a URL in here, but I'm going to come and change this later. So now I'm able to save it. There's also another way to restrict parts of a page. So what we've done here is we've restricted and put into this group entire pages or posts, but you can also put in a portion of a page or a post. Let me show you how you can do that. So I'm going to click right here where it says posts. I'm going to go and create a brand new post. I've entered the title of this post. And then right here, I'm going to put some bit of content on this page. Now, using the WordPress block editor, it's best to start with a container. So I'm going to click right here where it says plus. I'm going to choose a container. Now, I'm using Spectra, which is a block package that adds a container, but actually these options are going to be on any block. So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to choose a single column, and I'm going to go ahead and start adding some content. There it is. This is the content I want to protect. So I'm going to pull up the list view here, and I'm going to click on the container. Now you can actually click on any block that you add to your page, but I find it better to choose a container, but you can do what you want. So when I click on the paragraph, you'll see an option here that says restrict this block. And then right here, it says choose an access plan. And then there's my VIP club. But I actually prefer putting the restriction on the container. So when I do that, I would go into the advanced settings, and then here it is. And there is my option. And so anything I place inside of this container will only show to people that are in the VIP club. Now we also have these options available inside of Elementor. So if you are using Elementor, let me see if any of these pages are. Here's one. I can go ahead and click on Edit with Elementor, and it's going to be the same thing inside of the advanced options. So I'm going to choose this entire container by clicking here. I'll go into advanced, and you can see at the top, restrict this block. And you can go and you can choose the access group that you want to be able to see that. So this is how it would work inside of Elementor. We also have a way that this will work with any page builder. Let's go back into SureMembers. Let's go and click into the access group we created. And when you scroll down, there is a convenient shortcode here that you can use in any page builder. You can place this anywhere, and this content that you put in the middle will be restricted to members of this access group. Now, there's also something additional that you can control the visibility based on access groups, and that is the menu items. So if on the front of your website, there's a menu item that you want in your main menu, but you only want it to be shown to people inside of the access group, that is very easy to do. We go to Appearance and Menus. This is where all the menus are on your website. Choose the menu. So in this case, I've got the main menu chosen. And here's a list of my menu items. So say this menu item right here, I'm going to expand the options, and you can see it says select access groups. And when you click on it, you can start typing it in. So this was VIP club, and I've entered it. So now if someone is not logged in, they won't see this. If someone is logged in and they're not in the VIP club, they won't see this. This will only be visible to people that are members of the VIP club access group. Now, to make managing these different access group rules insanely easy and intuitive, we have put some indicators on every page or post that you're on that will let you know if that page or post is protected by one of your access groups. Let me show you how that works. So I'm going to go to posts, and here are some posts that I have. Here's that one that I was just in, the getting started. And you'll see when you're inside of the block editor, there's an icon here, and this is the SureMembers icon. Now, when the icon is the black color, that means that this page or post is not being protected by one of these access groups. Now, what I'll do is I'm going to put this post inside of the category week 1 because that is inside of one of the access groups. So I'm going to go ahead and click on update, and you might have missed it, but now the icon is no longer black. It's now purple. So whenever you see that icon is purple, that's going to let you know that the page or post that you're on is protected by an access group. And if you want to find out what the access group is, just move your mouse cursor over and click on it. And right here, it's going to list out all of the access groups that have access to the page or post that you're on. But we also make it convenient to create a new access group right here on the spot. You don't have to go and find where the settings are and leave what you're doing, as well as add it to an access group. So we can easily do that right here. So if I click on all access groups, a little pop-up's going to appear. And then here is that access group VIP club. And I can easily add this post to the protected content if I wanted to, but I'm already protecting it by the categories here. So let me show you the front end, because we have an indicator when you're on the front of your website of whether or not a page or post is being protected. So I'm going to go and take a look at this. So I'm going to go to permalink. I'll click right here, and you can see an icon right here. And so let me actually click into the post, and you can see what's funny is I've actually restricted access to that post, and I currently am not enrolled in the access group. That will be step 3. So I'm clicking on it and I can't access it, which is intended. Let's go ahead and click on the Hello World post right here. So we have the icon, and it says right here, this post is not restricted. And we have those same options right here that will allow me to add this post to an access group if I wanted to. And that leads us to step 3. How do you enroll users inside of these access groups? I'm going to show you how. So the first way is manually. So you would go to where it says users, and here is a list of users. Now, this is the user table. And what's nice is SureMembers adds this column right here that says active access groups. So for each user that's listed out right here, it will show the access groups that they're enrolled in. This is my account right here, and I'm going to click into it, and then I'm going to scroll down, and then we have this option right here that says add access group. I'm going to click right here and start typing it in. It was VIP club. Perfect. And I'm going to click add access groups. And so now I'm in the VIP access group. If I go back to show all users, you can see here I am in the VIP club. Now let's try to click into that protected post now that I'm a member of the group. And then I click into it, and I'm into the post just fine because now I'm a member of the access group. So that's how you can manually enroll a user, but you probably want to sell access to the access group. And this is very easy. SureMembers was made to work seamlessly with SureCart, the free e-commerce platform for WordPress. I have it installed on this website right here. So I'm going to go to SureCart, and I'm going to click on products. You'd want to create a product. And if you have products that are already created, you can click into the product and then scroll down right here where it says integrations, click on add new integration. And then on the list of integrations, you'll choose SureMembers. And then right here, it's going to show you a list of the access groups. I just have the one that we created. Then I can click on add integration, and you're going to see now this option here underneath integrations that if someone purchases this product, they are automatically going to be added to the VIP Club access group. The next way you can automatically enroll members into a SureMembers access group is if you're using SureTriggers. SureTriggers is an automation platform, not just for WordPress, but for all the services that you use. I already have SureTriggers installed on this website. So I see the menu here, I'll click on it, and I've already connected the site to SureTriggers. Now, the way an automation platform works, and they all work the same, you have two things. You have what's called a trigger, and that's an event that happens. And when this happens, you have a series of actions, and this is what happens when that trigger occurs. So a trigger can actually be anything. So we have a list of triggers that you can choose from for external SaaS platforms, other WordPress plugins. And then that action can be to enroll this person inside of SureMembers. This is a very powerful way of using SureMembers. You can have SureMembers on an entirely different website, and you can have a trigger be SureCart, or someone fills out a form or anything on any of your other websites connected to SureTriggers. And then you can have the user be created where you have SureMembers installed, and then you can enroll them into the access group. It's very powerful. This video is not going to go into all the depth of it, but I'll just give you a brief demonstration of how this works. So I would go right here where it says automations. I have a few set up, but I'll create a new one. I'll click on add new. And this is where you would add the trigger. First thing we should do is actually give the automation a name. I'll just name this SureMembers, click on save, and then I'll click right here where it says add trigger. And then right here, there's a drop down of different apps that could be those triggers. So I can go ahead and, just for the sake of simplicity, I can choose SureCart right here because it's all already connected. But you can see we have a long list of apps and services here that can serve as a trigger. So Affiliate WP, someone signs up. Beaver Builder has a contact form. It could be that. Cart Flows has an upsell and a downsell process. It works with WooCommerce. That could be the trigger. Divi Builders, Form Builder, all of these different tools have different triggers that are available. Elementor forms that you can choose from. So just to keep this simple, I'm going to go ahead and choose right here where it says SureCart. And I'm going to say when a user purchases a product. Okay, I'll choose that. And then I'll choose my SureCart connection. And then I'll choose the product. I named it online course. And then I'll click on save. And so now this is the event when this happens. And then let's go ahead and choose the actions now. And this is a different list of actions. And in this, you're going to see down here, it's going to say SureMembers. And then it's going to say add the user to an access group. And the connection is the particular site that I'm on right now. But like I said, you can push this to any site that you have connected to SureTriggers, as well as you have SureMembers on. So this is the name of the site right here. And then I can just choose the user information. And so for this, here is the user's email address. And then the access group is my VIP club, and I can click on save. And I can do other automations here. This is very powerful. I'm only scratching the surface of what you're able to do with this. Then you'd click on publish and you are good to go. There's another way that's coming soon, and this is when someone purchases a WooCommerce product. It's not yet ready, so I'm not going to be able to show it to you in this quick start video guide, but you can look on our YouTube channel and we'll make sure to have a tutorial video on that as soon as it's ready. Now, if you want to see a list of the users in the group, all you have to do is go and click on SureMembers, and this is where it's going to list out all of the access groups that you've created, and you can see this quick overview, and it lists out the content that's restricted. But then right here where it says users, it's going to show you a user count. And when you click on this, it's going to take you, open up a new tab and show you a list of the users that are enrolled in that access group. And you can see right here, when you're just normally on the list of users, there's an option here to choose and filter out the users by group. And so you can see this right here is the list of users that happen to be inside of this access group that I've created. So now I'm just going to go over some of the remaining items for using SureMembers. I'm going to click back inside of this access group. So I jumped through the unauthorized access rules. So what you'd want to do is redirect redirect usually to a sales page where the visitor can buy access to that content. You would just make a sales page. If you're using SureCart, SureCart will allow you to create a checkout form, and you can put that checkout form right there on a sales page and put whatever content that you want. The same would be if you're using this with WooCommerce or some other trigger in order to get members enrolled inside of this access group. And the same with the message. This will show on the page, and you can type whatever message that you want. So you would want to definitely change this URL. I just made it the homepage, but you want this to go to that sales page. We have one last option here, and it's for priority. It is possible that you can have multiple access groups, and you might configure them in such a way where one might conflict with the other. So that would be where one access group, they get access to some content. The next access group you've created, they don't get that same content. And then you have a user that's in both of these groups. It's a very edge case that it would happen. But in that situation, you can choose a priority, which group is going to have a higher priority over the other group. This is mostly here for advanced implementations of SureMembers. And there's one last thing that I want to show you. We do have a settings icon here on the right, and there's just two settings in there right now. So the first option is that I showed you when you were inside of the block editor, that icon would show you if that page or post is being restricted. If you didn't want to see that icon, you can toggle this off. This is the icon right here that I'm talking about. So if you didn't want this here, you can toggle it off very easily with this option right here. And the last option right here is the way WordPress works. Even if someone doesn't have access to any of the content based upon their user role, they just have an account on your WordPress site, they can somehow make their way back here to the profile page to edit their information there, but it's in the back end of WordPress and it's very ugly. So you can go right here and choose the user roles where they would not get access to this interface right here. So if someone is purchasing an access group through SureCart, you would have it be SureCart customers. They become the user role SureCart customers, and you don't want them to access the profile page back here. This is essentially what it would look like. And a user could find themselves here, and it's very confusing. And then they don't see any of this stuff. They just see this page, and it looks very strange, and they almost feel like they've hacked the system somehow. So to avoid that, we have this option right here where you can put the user role and totally block them from accessing this completely. Now in the future, we will be probably adding some additional settings here as we find the need to. But for right now, we have these two options right here. So that's all there is to using SureMembers on your website. Sorry for the length of this video. I wanted to show you the 3 easy steps, but I wanted to go into depth and detail on each of them to help you get the most out of SureMembers on your website.